Show with CJ Davidson. What's up? I'm CJ Davidson. Still. Tea. I love tea. Envision with Dr. Berg. LASIK surgery. Yes, Dr. Berg has given me these wonderful beauties here that I can see again. Haven't been able to see without glasses since 6 years old, and you guys know what I'm talking about. And lusciousbeauty.com. Luscious Beauty will give you that wonderful skin and complexion tone that you've been dying for since you were a child. I'm telling you, my skin is wonderful. I just gave a body massage and this stuff. Ooh, and it gets things really going good. It's good. It's not greasy. No animal testing, and it won't leave you greasy. It's all natural and no animal testing. Okay, speaking of the evil pharmaceutical drug people, and we always are. I was just thinking about that the other day. Hey, what about the pharmaceutical people? The drug disclaimers are what get me. Have you ever noticed that on TV, the drug disclaimers? Celebrex was one, and I like Celebrex. I've taken it before. I don't take it anymore. I can't afford it. But Celebrex is a good one because you have, it does relieve you, and I must say that it helped my arthritis. I have slight arthritis. But on these new disclaimers, I've heard like potential heart seizures, stroke, hypertension, kidney failure, heart attack, tons more that goes on and on and on and on. I didn't want to, if you're eating right now, I don't want to disturb your food. The bad things, the disclaimer took longer to list than the good things that it's helping you with. And, better, more than the benefits. And what I want to know is what the hell ailment is worth all of these nasty things like rectal bleeding and hypertension and horrendous and fatal side effects. The answer is arthritis, simple arthritis. It's like, well, no thank you, I'll pass on that. I'll just take a little bit of arthritis here and there and suffer. I'm not going to go through all that nightmare, despite. Okay. More local news. Los Angeles cuts back on its budget by considering abolishing the free spay-neuter program for cats and dogs. Oh my God. Is there any other good programs you guys want to cut? But we're going to get to another story about how the California judges are paid over $1 million. Yes, indeed. A global executive. Oh, that's another story we got to get to. But I better stay in order, shouldn't I? Okay. Yeah, the spay and neuter program, which is free, and I helped a girlfriend take her cats and dogs, or cats, to go get them spayed for free. Yeah, it was great. And then you cut down on the animal population. I don't know why they're cutting this program. It's a good program, and of course, only good programs like education and housing, the stuff that help people, they get cut. Okay, liberal gripes. Finally here in Southern California, congrats to Mayor Villiagosas' predictable victory. He had all the unions on his side. Sorry, CraigX, I heard that you were running. I would have voted for you if I would have voted, and I would have seen you there. I didn't vote for this. I'm sorry. I'm saying get out to vote, but I don't do the local politics because you know how they're going to turn out. They're very predictable here, and you can see. Backing of the unions he couldn't really use. Too bad his honors property, or Prop B, big Prop B measure on the ballot lost. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm totally for putting solar panels everywhere. In fact, I'd love to get a sponsor here to help me put solar panels on this house and give it an example for the rest of the neighborhood. Let me know, davcom, cj@aol.com if anybody's interested. But it would give sole contracts to the electrical workers, also known as the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Great, but the problem is the union is so big that it owns the mayoral, a big contributor. We don't use the word bribe, we use the word contributor to his honors, campaign. They own the mayor, which is fine and dandy. Well, no, it's not. That's the problem. They're not breaking up the contracts to give to little people who want to do this too. It's a great idea, but they've handed all of the work to the electrical workers, and that's not a good thing. Now, and of course, you just handed a big victory to the big oil now, who gets to continue running electricity and using oil and naturally, all that bullshit. And of course, the faulty power grid that if you throw a rock in it because they don't want to spend money to update it or upgrade it, will blow up. Santa Ana! Moving right along, a minor fire broke out in a residential neighborhood last week. When the fire was put out, there was a growing room of marijuana plants. I presumed they were tapping into the electrical lines illegally and they were getting electricity. And of course, that's usually how it happens. That's the story when you do that, when the fires break out in growing rooms. But it turns out that wasn't the case. In fact, as the police were hauling out the marijuana plants, the guy on the TV was saying that it is possible that whoever owns the home has a permit, has a doctor's referral for those plants, as they were hauling out the plants. So anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. Anybody wants to tell me about that story, follow up, davcomcj@aol.com. That's davcomcj@aol.com. Viewer mail, back to viewer mail, or starting viewer mail. Crusty Undies 444 writes, CJ, why do you play Battlefield games all the time, glorifying such death and destruction? I am like so totally glad that you asked me that, Krusty. You see, we here at Extreme Snuff Fest Gaming subscribe to the belief that someday, somewhere in the near dear future, that conflicts can be settled on the virtual battlefield instead of the actual battlefield, where the ultimate inhumanity is to humanity. In other words, no more war. You know what I'm just saying. Okay. Next letter from, from Simply Pimples 101 writes, CJ, you criticize fat people who sit around and feed their faces 24/7, but you offer no solutions. On the contrary, Zitsky, I was obese at one time myself. This is true. Before I entered the service, and I had to lose weight in order to get in. I was a very big boy. Yeah. And so I know how you feel. Yeah, don't feel so bad. There is always hope. And of course, if you want to do it, you've got to put your mind to it. And I'm not too bad. It's not that bad, like a lot of people out there, my age. I'm 46 and proud of it. That's because I can take care of myself, keep myself in shape. Here is my fitness program to do so. If you can't see your feet, it's time for some sit-ups. 40 sit-ups under 2 minutes. This is the military standard. This is all it takes to keep your heart going. Easy. 40 sit-ups under 2 minutes. Time yourself, and then you'll be up to 50, and then you'll be up to 60. 40 push-ups under 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2-mile run under 20 minutes. Or if you can't run, a 2-mile walk for under an hour, and then work that to under a half hour. I'm telling you, man, it works, it works, it works. Okay, and we were supposed to be into part 3, but I think we're moving right along, and we'll break it up. More viewer email. You've probably gotten this one in the email, and then we'll break it up, and we'll move on to part 3. Perfect example of that slippery slope argument that I was discussing a couple weeks ago. Today I went to visit the new World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C. Hundreds of us milled around the memorial, reading the inspiring words of Eisenhower, Truman, that are engraved there. On the Pacific side of the memorial, a group of us gathered to read these words President Roosevelt used to announce the attack of Pearl Harbor. Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date that will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked. One elderly woman read the words aloud. With confidence in our armed forces, with the abounding determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph. But as she read, she was suddenly turned angry. Wait a minute, she said. They left out the end of the quote. They left out the most important part. Roosevelt ended the message with, "So help us God." Her husband said, "You're probably right. We're not supposed to say things like that now." Wrong! You can say anything you want right now. So help me God. There, I just said it. No one's going to come in and beat my ass for that. That's a slippery slope. There, I just said it. No problem. God thing is an un-issue, people. Religion should never have been brought into the government in the first place. Karl Rove made this an issue in 2002 with his direct mail, slippery slope propaganda argument. Liberals want to ban the Bible. When actually you simply had folks who wanted less religion in government. Remember, you're either with us or you're with the terrorists, even though we hated your plan and we didn't particularly like you too much. we were right. Yes, this slippery slope argument works every time. As a manipulative political tool, we fail to read the meaning of the message, resolve and determination of the troops, and the brave men who served our country and women who served our country, rather than nitpick about optional phrases that don't change the meaning one way or the other. If you believe, fine. If you don't believe, that's fine too. That's what America's all about. That's what it truly is about. The freedom to choose or not choose at all. As far as the changing of the historical text goes, I'm strongly against it. If it's not broken, don't fix it. You've been watching That Other Web Show around the world. For ladies and gentlemen and everybody in between, I'm CJ Davidson, your chroner. I'll be back with part 3 if you wanna, right after this.